Sometimes peace doesn't feel peaceful. You sit quietly, trying to find calm, but instead you feel a quiet pressure building in your chest, like a storm waiting behind still air. It's strange, isn't it? The very silence we once longed for starts to feel uncomfortable. We live in a world that glorifies being calm, composed, at peace. But no one tells us what to do when even peace feels unreachable. You meditate, breathe, distract yourself, yet something restless keeps whispering underneath. That restlessness, that's not your weakness. It's your inner self knocking, asking to be heard. Buddhism teaches that anxiety is not an enemy to be defeated. It's a messenger pointing toward what we've ignored. Like a temple bell, it rings only to awaken. Maybe that ringing is telling you, you've been running too fast. You've been trying too hard to control everything. Or maybe you've forgotten how to simply be. When we stop labeling our anxiety as a problem, it begins to reveal its true nature. A signpost, not a punishment. Each tremor, each wave of tension is just energy, asking to move through us, not against us. So instead of saying, I need to get rid of this feeling, try whispering, what are you trying to show me? You might notice, behind the fear, there's a deep tenderness. Behind the restlessness, there's life wanting to breathe freely again. The Buddha never said life would be free of storms. He simply showed us how to stop drowning in them. When peace feels heavy, don't run. Sit, breathe, listen. Maybe what you call anxiety is simply your heart trying to lead you home. Let's move into the first part of today's video, understanding the roots of anxiety. According to Buddhist wisdom, anxiety doesn't come from the outside world. It begins inside our own mind. It grows from two habits, attachment and resistance. Attachment is when we cling too tightly to the things we love, our routines, our health, our relationships, even the image we hold of who we think we are. And when life inevitably changes, when illness appears, when loss visits, when uncertainty knocks, it feels as if a piece of us has been torn away. We try to hold on, but the tighter we cling, the more anxious we become. Resistance, on the other hand, is when we try to push away what we don't want, pain, aging, loss, or the unknown. But the truth is, the more we resist what is, the stronger it returns. Like waves crashing on the shore, what we reject will always find its way back to us. Buddhism teaches that suffering doesn't come from change itself, but from our refusal to accept it. Life is always flowing, but we build walls around what we want to keep and what we want to avoid, and those walls become our cage. Imagine holding sand in your fist. The harder you squeeze, the faster it slips away. That's exactly how attachment and resistance work. We think control will bring peace, but peace only comes when we open our hands and let things be as they are. So instead of asking, how can I stop being anxious? We might ask, what am I refusing to let go of? Every time you feel anxiety rise, see it as a teacher, a gentle knock reminding you, it's time to release. When we stop fighting the flow of life, something magical happens. The same energy that once created anxiety begins to transform into awareness, clarity, and compassion. And from that awareness, a new kind of peace quietly blooms. The kind that doesn't depend on anything staying the same. There was once a war veteran who used to walk every morning at sunrise. For him, those walks weren't just exercise. They were a ritual of strength, a quiet declaration that he was still capable, still whole. But one day a severe injury ended that simple routine. His legs no longer carried him as before. He watched the sunrise from his chair, feeling as if the world had taken something essential away. Days turned into weeks, and frustration began to eat away at his peace. It wasn't just the loss of walking that hurt, it was the loss of identity. He thought, who am I if I can't do the things that once defined me? Then during a visit to a Buddhist meditation group, he shared his pain with a monk. The monk listened quietly and said, maybe it's not the walking you're grieving. Maybe it's the image of the man who used to walk. That simple sentence pierced through his sorrow like light through fog. He realized that what truly caused his suffering wasn't his injury, but his attachment to an image, the strong, capable soldier who never yielded. He had been clinging to a version of himself that no longer existed. The monk continued, when you hold too tightly to who you were, You close the door to who you can become. From that day, the veteran began a new practice. Each morning, instead of walking, he sat by the window and breathed deeply. With every breath, he silently repeated, "I am here, I am alive, I am not the past." Over time, he discovered that peace doesn't come from the body's ability, but from the mind's acceptance. He found a new kind of strength, not in his legs, but in his heart. He learned that the real battle wasn't fought on the battlefield or against his injury. It was fought within his own resistance to change. And as he surrendered that image of who he should be, something beautiful happened. The burden lifted. He began to smile again, not because he could walk, but because he no longer needed to. The veteran's story reminds us that much of our suffering comes not from what life takes away, but from what we refuse to release. When we let go of the stories we tell ourselves about who we must be, we meet life with a softer gaze. And in that gentle space of surrender, peace quietly returns. Just like the sunrise he now greets every morning, still shining, still enough. Let's move deeper into the heart of today's teaching. Letting go, the doorway to freedom. The Buddhist path doesn't ask us to abandon life. It invites us to soften our grip on it, to release gently what we've been holding on to with fear and control. We often mistake letting go for losing, but true letting go isn't about giving up. It's about opening up. It's the shift from, "How do I fix everything?" to, "Can I allow this moment to simply be?" Underneath the endless thoughts and emotions, there's a quiet space that never changes, a still awareness that watches everything come and go. That stillness isn't something you create, it's something you return to. It's who you are beneath the noise, beneath the stories, beneath the constant striving to be someone or somewhere else. When we rest in that space, anxiety begins to dissolve. Not because life becomes easier, but because we stop fighting its impermanence. Everything changes. The body ages, people leave, moments fade, and yet the awareness that witnesses all of it remains untouched. It's like standing in the middle of a storm, yet realizing you are the sky, not the thunder. The clouds come and go, but the sky is never harmed. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. It means you love fully but without fear of losing, work diligently but without the weight of control, and live wholeheartedly but without resistance. When you loosen your grip on how life should be, you finally begin to experience life as it truly is. And in that simple surrender, something miraculous unfolds. A deep, effortless peace that no circumstance can touch. So the next time you feel anxiety rising, take a breath and ask, what am I holding on to that I can let go of right now? You might find that peace was never far away. It was just waiting beneath the noise, in the quiet presence that has always been you. Anxiety often begins with a single unnoticed thought, a small ripple in the mind that, if left unobserved, can grow into a storm. The Buddha once taught, this is only a thought, not a prophecy, not your true nature. When we start to see our thoughts instead of being our thoughts, everything changes. We realize that a thought is just a movement of the mind, like a cloud passing across the sky. Your awareness, the sky itself, is vast and unchanged. Thoughts, emotions, and worries come and go, but awareness remains untouched, silent, clear, and boundless. Practice. Sit quietly for a moment. Notice the thoughts rising and falling within you, the plans, the fears, the judgments. Observe them as if you're watching clouds drift by. No need to chase them. No need to push them away. Just whisper to yourself, this is just a thought. And suddenly the thought loses its power over you. The moment you recognize it as only a thought, it can no longer control your peace. This awareness is like standing as a mountain in the middle of a storm. The winds may blow, the clouds may swirl, but the mountain remains steady, grounded in stillness. When you live from that awareness, you stop being swept away by every wave of anxiety. You start to see clearly that peace isn't the absence of thoughts, it's the space beyond them. Anxiety isn't always loud. Sometimes it hums quietly in the background, a soft, persistent echo that never seems to fade. It pulls us away from the now, into the endless what-ifs of the past and future. The Buddha taught, do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment. True peace is not found by trying to escape fear, but by coming home to this very breath, this very moment. Mindfulness practice. Feel your breath moving in and out. Notice the rhythm of your heartbeat, the weight of your body resting on the ground. Listen to the sounds around you, the breeze, the silence, the beating of life itself. Don't try to get rid of anxiety. Simply return again and again to what is happening now. As you rest in this awareness, something subtle begins to shift. The power of anxiety melts away under the light of presence. What's left is not emptiness, but clarity, a quiet strength that no storm can touch. When you truly arrive in this moment, you realize you were never broken, never incomplete. You were just lost in time. And here, in the stillness of now, peace has been waiting for you all along. Anxiety often carries a cruel whisper. You're weak. You should be stronger. You're not enough. It's a voice we've inherited from a world that mistakes strength for suppression, a world that praises those who hold everything together while quietly falling apart inside. But Buddhist wisdom offers a gentler truth. Real strength is tenderness. Compassion is not a luxury. It's a survival skill for the soul. The Buddha said, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. When we suffer, we don't need more judgment. We need kindness. And that begins with how we speak to ourselves. Try this. When your mind says, something is wrong with me, gently ask, what do I need right now? When you feel ashamed for being anxious, whisper instead, this is hard, and I'm doing my best. Notice how even a small change in language softens the heart. You're no longer fighting yourself. You're finally listening. Place your hand over your heart. Feel the warmth beneath your palm, that quiet pulse of life still there for you. This simple gesture is not childish or weak. It's an act of remembrance. It says, I am still here. I am still worthy of care. In Buddhist practice, compassion is not about fixing what's broken, but about recognizing that nothing was ever broken to begin with. Your anxiety, your fears, your tears, all of them are parts of your humanity asking to be held. The path of healing begins not when the pain disappears, but when we stop running from it and turn toward it with kindness. Every time you respond to your suffering with softness instead of scorn, you are rewiring the very way your heart meets the world. And slowly, the voice of the inner critic fades, replaced by a deeper voice, calm and loving, that says, you are doing enough. You are enough. Peace doesn't arise from perfection. It blooms from acceptance, from giving yourself permission to be human. In that acceptance, the storm of anxiety begins to quiet. You realize that compassion was never something to seek. It was always your true nature, waiting for you to return. Take a deep breath. Wherever you are right now, sitting on a chair, lying in bed, or standing by a window, let your body soften just a little. Feel the gentle rhythm of your breath, the quiet rise and fall that's been with you since the day you were born. Now close your eyes if it feels comfortable. Bring your awareness to your body, your shoulders, your chest, your heart. You might notice a tightness, a heaviness, or a restless energy. That's okay. You don't have to push it away. Instead, softly invite your anxiety to be here with you. Let it appear, without fear, without judgment. You can even whisper, it's okay. You can stay. I'm listening. And now repeat gently in your heart, not as a command, but as a reminder of truth. This does not belong to me. This is not me. This is not my true nature. These words are not about denial. They are about freedom, a way of stepping back from the storm of thoughts that tell you who you should be. Breathe again, slower this time. Feel the space between each breath widen. That's peace returning home. The anxiety may still be there, but it no longer defines you. Imagine your thoughts like leaves floating on a calm river. They pass. They always pass. And beneath the surface, the water remains clear and still. Whenever anxiety rises again, return to this practice. Don't fight, Just breathe, observe, and remember. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness that witnesses them. With time, you'll notice that every breath becomes an anchor, and every moment of stillness opens a doorway back to freedom. Peace has never left you. It was only hidden beneath the noise. When anxiety rises, don't rush to silence it. When your heart beats fast and your chest feels tight, pause for a moment and whisper, "Hello, anxiety. I see you. I know you're here." This simple greeting transforms fear into awareness. You shift from reacting to observing, and in that shift, peace quietly begins to bloom. Mindfulness isn't about escaping your life. It's about returning to it. Each moment, no matter how ordinary, can become sacred when you are fully present. When washing dishes, feel the water on your skin. When walking, notice the ground beneath your feet. When drinking tea, taste the warmth, the aroma, the life in that single sip. These small moments are not distractions from meditation. They are meditation itself. Through them, the mind slowly learns to rest. Now bring your awareness to your breath. Inhale, know that you are breathing in. Exhale, smile softly and release whatever heaviness you've been holding. One mindful breath can soothe 100 anxious thoughts. Practice doing nothing for just 1 minute every hour. No scrolling, no fixing, no rushing, just being. This is micro-meditation, a pause that reconnects you to the stillness that never leaves. And when anxiety returns, look deeper instead of pushing it away. Ask gently, "What are you trying to show me?" Sometimes anxiety isn't the enemy. It's a messenger, carrying memories or emotions that have long waited to be seen. When you truly listen, the energy of fear begins to soften. You start to see that beneath every anxious feeling is a longing, a call for safety, love, or understanding. And in that seeing, anxiety transforms. It's no longer a storm, but a teacher. No longer a prison, but a doorway back to yourself. Let mindfulness be the bridge between fear and freedom, between reaction and awareness, between who you think you should be and who you already are. When you walk, breathe, or simply sit with awareness, you are not escaping life. You are coming home to it. You've walked through the quiet landscapes of your own mind, from fear to awareness, from resistance to release. Along the way, you've seen that anxiety was never your enemy. It was a messenger, a tender signal from the heart, asking to be seen, heard, and embraced. When we stop running, when we stop labeling our feelings as wrong, something beautiful begins to unfold. Beneath the trembling, there is stillness. Beneath the chaos, there is a quiet pulse of life waiting for you to return home. The Buddha never promised a life without storms. He showed us how to stand in the rain, awake, present, unshaken. The practice of mindfulness and compassion doesn't erase anxiety, it transforms it into understanding. Every time you breathe mindfully, every time you place your hand on your heart and whisper, "It's okay," you are walking the sacred path of awakening. You begin to see, "I am already enough. I am already whole. I am not alone." Peace isn't something you have to chase. It's what remains when you stop running, when you simply be. This is the essence of freedom, not the absence of difficulty, but the presence of awareness. So tonight, when the mind begins to wander, pause, breathe, smile gently to yourself. Let your breath remind you, you are alive and that is already a miracle. And if this message touched something deep within you, share your reflection below. What truth did you realize about your own anxiety tonight? Or perhaps leave a promise for yourself. From today, I will breathe with kindness, because this journey doesn't end here. In the next video, we will continue to walk this path together, deeper into silence, deeper into freedom, deeper into the heart of peace itself. Until then, remember, you are not broken. You are becoming whole, one mindful breath at a time.